Hey, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing great. I just finished my 10 pages for The Magic of Thinking Big. I'm cultivating this reading habit, and 10 places is, I think, a great place to start. I could have done more, but I like these 10 pages of chunks there. I can really digest the information, and I'm excited to share what I read today. Basically, chapter 2, the 10 pages did not complete all of chapter 2 as it did yesterday for chapter 1. But there's some great stuff in here. Chapter 2 is titled, Cure Yourself of Excuse-itis, the Failure Disease. And boy, there's a lot of chances for excuse-itis out there. And he talks about go deep into your study of people, and you'll discover unsuccessful people suffer a mind-deadening thought disease. We call this excuse-itis. And people who are successful are less inclined to make excuses than those who do. He goes, if you study people who have gone nowhere and have no plans, you always have a book full of reasons to explain why. So I have never met or heard of a highly successful business executive, military officer, salesman, professional person, or leader in any field who could not have found one or more major excuses to hide behind. It says Roosevelt could have hidden behind his lifeless legs. Truman could have hidden behind no college education. Kennedy could have said that he was too young to be president. It goes, like any disease, excuse-itis gets worse if it isn't treated properly. A victim of this thought disease goes through this mental process. I'm not doing as well as I should. What can I use as an alibi that will help me save face? Let's see. Poor health, lack of education, too old or too young, and bad luck. Personal misfortune, wife, the way my family brought me up. No, we will not rely on those excuses. And he goes, also, these excuses might not even be real, but we tell ourselves those excuses so much that we start to believe them. He says, you must vaccinate yourself against excuse-itis, the disease of failures. He says, excuse-itis appears in a wide variety of forms, but the worst types of this disease are, again, health excuse-itis, intelligence excuse-itis, age excuse-itis, and luck. For these 10 pages, I got through the first 3. The 4 most common forms of excuse-itis. Number 1, but my health isn't good. Just think for a moment of all the highly successful people who you know, who could, but who don't use health as an excuse. It says, he wants to live until he dies. I'm going to live until I die. I'm going to live. Why only be half alive? Why let your excuses weigh you down? There's 4 things you can do to lick health excuse-itis. Number 1, refuse to talk about your health. I do that. I have some health issues. I have neuropathy in my feet. I've had chronic back, neck, shoulder, knee pain, foot pain. I don't like to talk about it. When people ask me at work, customers, no, it's fine, everything's fine. I don't like to talk about it. I will not let it hold me back from anything I'm doing now or anything I'm doing in the future. Number 2, refuse to worry about your health. I always beg worriers to exercise some self-control. For instance, when I saw this man who was convinced he had a gallbladder disease, through separate x-ray examinations, it showed it was perfectly normal. Worry can lead to actually making you sick. Number 3, be genuinely grateful your health is as good as it is. I tend to be in this camp. I know things can be rough with my health, but I'm also grateful that it's not any worse. I know it could be much worse. And number 4, remind yourself often it's better to wear out than to rust out. Life is yours to enjoy. Don't waste it. Don't pass up living by thinking yourself into a hospital bed. I will not either. I'd rather push through. Number 2, you have to have brains to succeed. Intelligence excuse-itis. He goes, there are 2 basic errors with respect to intelligence. Number 1, we underestimate our own brain power, and 2, we overestimate the other fellow's brain power. He says, what really matters is not how much intelligence you have, but how you use what you have. Let me repeat this, for it is vitally important. The thinking that guides your intelligence is more important than the intelligence that you have. So you have to have enthusiasm and interest. just enough to stick with something, a chore, a task, a project, until it is completed. It pays off so much more than idle intelligence, even if idle intelligence can be of the genius caliber. For stickability is 95% of ability. I feel like this hurt me a little bit with nursing. I did not have the stick ability. C's get degrees. I overthought it. I felt like I wasn't smart enough. I had a number of excuses, and I should have stuck with it. Knowledge is power when you use it constructively. Closely allied to intelligence excuse-itis is some incorrect thinking about knowledge. We often hear knowledge is power, but this statement is only half truth. Knowledge is only potential power. Knowledge is power only when put to use. I love that because action is going to help you break free. Getting all these notifications on my phone. 3 ways to cure intelligence excuse-itis. Number 1, never underestimate your own intelligence and never overestimate the intelligence of others. Number 2, remind yourself several times daily, my attitudes are more important than my intelligence. And okay, I won't underestimate my intelligence. I will be enthusiastic. I will go after it and I will stick to it. I'll remind myself daily that my attitude is more important than intelligence. And number 3, remember the ability to think is of much greater value than the ability to memorize facts. Don't fill your brain up with stuff that you can look up in 2 minutes. Think about ideas. Number 3, excuse-itis is age. It's no use, I'm too old or I'm too young. That's BS, as we know. Defeat it by refusing to let it hold you back. First, it goes, in quick recap, the cure for age excuse-itis is, number 1, look at your present age positively. Think I'm still young, not I'm already old. Practice looking forward to new horizons to gain the enthusiasm to feel of youth. Number 2, compute how much productive time you have left. Remember, a person age 30 still has 80% of his productive life ahead of him. And the 50-year-old still has a big 40%, the best 40% of his opportunity years left. Life is actually longer than most people think. And number 3, invest future time into doing what you really want to do. It's only too late when you let your mind go negative and think that it's too late. Stop thinking I should have started years ago. That's failure thinking. Instead think, I'm going to start now. My best years are ahead of me. That's the way successful people think. And so that is the 10 pages for today, short and sweet. I hope you get something out of it. Don't let your health hold you back. Don't let your perceived lack of intelligence hold you back. You're smarter than you think, and it's your attitude that will push you forward, and you're not too old, and you're not too young. Show up, get the job done. You still have plenty of time left, no matter what your age is. In this book, it detailed a man who was 50 who went back to school to be a college professor and within 4 years was heading his economics department at his university. And, I'm 42. I used to think things were too late. I could never, what am I going to learn? No, there's so much to learn. And there's so many opportunities out there to learn. Coding, graphic design, editing, anything you set your mind to, photography. So many advances are coming up and so many needs that people have that we can solve. I can't wait to keep learning, and I can't wait to see what's up with the rest of this book. I hope you have a great night, and I hope you're reading. Let me know what you're reading, and I'll talk to you on the next video.